Morning friends, happy Saturday, how the heck you doing? Alison Boshoff, and I wish she would bosh off literally, is at it again. This journalist from The Gift That Keeps On Giving, the Daily Mail, has got yet another exclusive. And yes, I did pay for it. I used my hard-earned pennies to go behind the paywall, whatever you want to call it, so you don't have to spend your money. And this whole story focuses on two things. How disjointed and annoyed Harry and Meghan allegedly feel at not being invited back into the family with open arms. And secondly, how they are running out of money. Let's deal with the second one first. Harry has just donated £1 million to charity. People that are running out of money don't do that. He's not going to get £1 million back in tax breaks. If you're running out of money, you hold on to your own money to keep your family safe. Meghan has also made another prolific investment in another female-founded company. Again, over £1 million. You don't do those two things if you're running out of money. Secondly, being welcomed back into this family, more like a business. The UK non-working royal family is a business. They are only interested in keeping their own gravy train running. Harry and Meghan have been bullied, battered, embarrassed and shamed by this family, both by their direct actions to Harry and Meghan and the questionable judgment and activity of members of the family, including Kate, Charles, Camilla, Andrew, the list goes on. They've literally been embarrassed all over the world by this family. Why they would want any form of major welcome is absolutely beyond me, and it doesn't make logical sense. You do not reunite yourself with a family of snakes, and if you don't get any form of brilliant welcome, you are not bothered because you don't really want to be around them. They are the facts.
So King Charles, I still can't get used to that. I think of him as Prince Charles. But King Charles recently reunited with Prince Harry after 4 years. But according to reports, Harry still has no relationship with his brother, Prince William. Which insiders describe as so broken. Does Harry making peace with Dad open a door to the royal family reunion? Or not?
I sure hope so.
I mean,
we know that the king has been in ailing health, and we wish him all of the best. And I think it's really important that Prince Harry is making the effort to try to rectify that relationship. You never are promised another day with a loved one, but I think of my husband and his brother, we all live in the same town. They're best friends, they're business partners. To think of them ever having a rift that they couldn't fix is just heartbreaking to me. Yeah. And then also really sad is the kids. They both have the cousins who've never even met each other. And if they were able to work through, that's my understanding, is that they haven't. So just if they could somehow rectify this, it would be so great for all of their kids to get to grow up with the cousins too.
That's really what I thought. Is just I'm glad that even if the brothers aren't getting along, that Prince Harry was able to see his dad, because you know that he hasn't been well, and we've talked about that a lot. And for him to see his grandbabies and to see his son, I think was so important. Family trouble is the worst and the hardest.
Yeah, but this is about, I think this is about rivalry of some sort. I mean, you have William is the heir to the throne, and Harry is like the other.
No, I think it's the treatment of Meghan Markle. That really was.
That didn't help, but they would not treat William's wife that way. Honestly, because he's going to be the next.
Well, if she was Meghan Markle, they might have.
Think of Cain and Abel, okay?
But you know, I have my, God knows I have my own family drama, and family drama is very complicated, but I don't know what the hell is going on in England and Great Britain, because between the Beckhams and the royals, I'm having a hard time figuring out and keeping up with what the cause of what was. I mean, what happened here? Did Camilla dance inappropriately on Harry at the wedding? What are we fighting about?
On Harry?
I don't think
yes, it's a whole thing with Victoria Beckham. I'll explain it during the break. It involves Mark Anthony in a song. I'll give you the 101.
I knew there
Do
was
you
a
all
name
know what
to
I'm talking about?
Yes.
I knew there was a Latino name to drop in this segment.
But the British press is also brutal. Like, let us remember that, honestly, that's what the paparazzi was what caused Princess Diana's passing. And when you look at how they have responded, and it's almost like they get involved in everything. And I think it's endorsed. It's okay.
I think it was such a significant factor in a rift that was already there, but making it worse. And their treatment of Meghan, if you see the sheer number of headlines in the language.
Was that about race?
A lot of it was tied to race. In the British press, I mean, we've dealt with it to a little degree. The tabloids there are so much more vicious than they are here. It is like they go low, they go deep, and they think that there are no boundaries off limits. So I do respect Harry for protecting his wife, but now I feel like it's time for everyone to try to come together.
In this country, the administration is mean to the press, not the opposite.
Yeah, this is more the tabloid journalism versus more like real journalism.
It's sad because we all remember these two brothers, particularly, you know, the images of these two brothers after Diana, their mom, died. And they were so close. They were so close with their dad. And William and Kate have gone through their own challenges. Kate has been facing cancer as well. So you would think it'd be a time when he could really use the support and friendship of his brother.
And I wasn't always the biggest defender of Meghan Markle, and I think having a child and being postpartum made me have so much more sympathy toward her because some of the hardest moments she had when she openly talked about dealing with depression and being in the spotlight and all of the negativity she was facing, when you're dealing with those postpartum emotions and hormones and you're in just protective mode, they did the best thing for their family.
You can relate to that right now?
Completely.
You still have it?
It's starting to dwindle, but like I could still cry at the drop of a pin.
Really?
Me too, and it's been more than a few years.
Well, I don't know. I just think that, you know, when one's going to be the king, as Mel Brooks says, it's good to be the king.
I don't think that's it.
Because I mean, that's always been a dynamic between them, and there wasn't a problem.
Okay, Anna, I'm going to say to you, you can either be the queen or you can be somebody else.
Can I tell you something?
Somebody else gets to have more fun.
His book is called Spare. Like, he does acknowledge it.
What was the name of the queen's sister?
Oh, I know. It was in...
Margaret.
Margaret.
Okay, that lady had fun.
Yes, that's who I was.
She had men, she had drinks, she had ciggies, she was flying
Being
all
royal
over the world.
adjacent is much better than being royal itself, I think.
I don't think so.
Getting a royal stipend, a crown, a plane, and a title, and doing whatever the hell I want without having to be queen. Yes, sign me up.
I don't mean to sound sexist, but these are boys now. These are not girls. You're talking about Margaret. It's different. Look at what's going on in Congress. They can't get go of that power. It's masculine.
It might be their tea levels.
It's the tea level.
It's the tea level.
Good morning, good evening, and goof afternoon, squaddies, from wherever you are watching us. Massive thanks to you all for tuning in. The UK media is back at it again with the absolute finest fiction money can buy. You've got Alison Boshoff over at the Daily Mail out here writing literal fan fiction, sweating over her keyboard like, oh, the veil is lifting, the American dream is dead. Please, the only thing lifting is the absolute desperation of these tabloids. Regular people look at this stuff and just laugh. Nobody in the real world is sitting around thinking Harry is crying into his organic avocado toast, begging to go back to a chilly castle where his own family treated him like a backup battery. He didn't get tricked by love. The man just looked around, realized the whole setup was toxic, and dipped. But the British press, they physically cannot let it go. It's been years and they are still acting like a bitter ex who stalks your Instagram at 3 a.m. They drag Harry and Meghan relentlessly, day in and day out, spinning these wild narratives about Megxit failure because they're furious they lost their favourite punching bags. The royal family gets a total free pass from these media clowns while they launch non-stop smear campaigns against a couple just trying to live their lives across the Atlantic. It's a joke. Harry and Meghan chose freedom, and every time the UK media tries to manifest this fake regret, it just shows how mad they are that the Sussexes actually escaped the trap. Here is the fact. It is pure, unadulterated desperation. The UK media and the royal family are running the exact same playbook, and it's getting embarrassing. Look at the math. The firm relies on this unspoken contract where the tabloids print glowing praise about the good royals in exchange for access, while throwing Harry and Meghan to the wolves to drive clicks and cover up internal family messes. But here's the glitch in their system. Control only works if the person cares about your rules. Harry and Meghan checked out of the game. They packed up, crossed the ocean, and built a completely independent life. That completely breaks the media's brain. When you can't cut off someone's allowance, lock them out of the palace, or bully them into silence with front-page hit pieces, you lose all your leverage. So what do the tabloids do? They resort to manifestation. They write these unhinged, fictional articles pretending the Sussexes are miserable, hoping if they print "the American dream is over" enough times, it'll magically come true. It's like watching a control freak boss realize an employee quit and is actually doing way better at their new gig. You can keep throwing tantrums and printing garbage, but at the end of the day, you're just screaming into the void while they enjoy the sunshine. Let's get one thing straight right out the gate. This whole toxic idea that you gotta crawl back to people who did you dirty just because you share a last name, absolute garbage. The media's out here acting like Harry needs to grovel at the altar of reconciliation, like it's some kind of fairy tale requirement. But let's bring this down to earth for a second. In the real world, your main job as a husband and a dad isn't playing nice with your messy relatives to keep up appearances. Your job is protecting the crew under your own roof, period. Harry's #1 priority isn't satisfying the British public or fixing things with a family that threw him under the bus. It's Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet. No man worth his soul is going to sacrifice his wife's peace of mind or his kids' safety just so some columnists in London can feel better about the monarchy. Real family isn't the one handed to you in a gilded cage. It's the one you choose to build and protect. Harry chose his lane, he chose his team, and honestly, good for him for sticking by them while the haters keep screaming from the sidelines. Harry takes his family over to Highgrove for a quiet, top-secret reunion with King Charles, and suddenly the media's collective brain shorts out. The second there's a hint of a father and son acting like normal human beings, the press immediately shifts the spotlight to Prince William like, but wait, what about the rift? Is William going to be mad? Let's be real, William is out here throwing absolute manufactured tantrums via the press. While his dad is trying to be a grandfather and see Archie and Lilibet for the first time in years, William's camp is busy briefing the tabloids about how he views Harry's actions as unforgivable and how he has no plans to reconnect. It is the ultimate sibling ego trip. William is acting like the manager of a store who is furious that an ex-employee walked in just to buy a soda. He cannot handle the fact that Harry is operating completely outside of his control. Harry didn't show up to beg for his old job back, he showed up to let a grandfather see his grandkids. But because William has tied his whole identity to protecting the crown and playing the dutiful heir, anybody who steps out of line is a threat. The media loves to frame this as some deep, tragic Shakespearean standoff, but it's just pure pettiness. Harry is moving forward, building his life and keeping his side of the street clean. Meanwhile, William is standing on the royal balcony, crossing his arms and letting his media cheerleaders scream at the clouds because his brother refuses to come back and play second fiddle. It's exhausting, it's childish, and honestly, it just proves exactly why Harry was right to pack his bags and leave that circus behind. One thing that always makes me laugh is how some people act like Harry and Meghan owe the world unlimited access to their kids. Since when did complete strangers become members of the family? Last time I checked, nobody gets a VIP pass to somebody else's children just because they're curious. Think about it like this. If you knew your neighborhood had people waiting outside your gate every single day with cameras, microphones, gossip blogs, and a fresh rumor ready before breakfast, would you send your kids out there smiling for the crowd? Absolutely not. You'd close that gate so fast it would make their heads spin. That's exactly why I struggle to understand the criticism. Harry isn't just Prince Harry, he's a dad. Meghan isn't just the Duchess of Sussex, she's a mum. Parents have one job above everything else: keep their children safe, not entertain the internet, not satisfy the tabloids, not give social media another trending topic. And here's the funny part. The same people shouting, "Show us Archie and Lilibet," are often the first people complaining that celebrities exploit their children. So, which one is it? You can't yell, "Leave the kids alone" on Monday, then demand fresh pictures by Wednesday. Pick a lane. Harry has talked openly about growing up with cameras everywhere. He knows what that pressure feels like. He knows what it's like to have private moments turned into front-page headlines. Why on earth would anyone expect him to hand his own children the exact same experience? That doesn't even make common sense. People say, but they're royal children. Okay, and? They're still children. They still deserve birthdays without photographers hiding in bushes. They deserve playgrounds without someone trying to sell blurry photos. They deserve to make mistakes without millions of strangers turning it into tomorrow's headline. Let's keep it real. Regular parents understand this immediately. If somebody started taking pictures of your child without permission, you'd have a serious problem with it. You wouldn't smile and say, well, I guess the public deserves this. You'd be asking some very uncomfortable questions. That's why I don't buy this idea that Harry and Meghan are somehow doing something outrageous by protecting Archie and Lilibet. To me, they're doing exactly what loving parents are supposed to do. They looked at the environment around them and asked one simple question. Is this good for our kids? If the answer is no, then you move differently. And let's not pretend the media always treats royal children gently. We've all seen how comparisons start. Who smiled better, who waved better, who dressed better. Imagine growing up with adults scoring your childhood like it's the Olympics. That's exhausting. Kids shouldn't have to compete for headlines before they've even learned algebra. Harry has said many times that he wants to break unhealthy cycles. Protecting his children fits that goal perfectly. He's basically saying, what happened to me doesn't have to happen to my son and daughter. Honestly, a lot of parents would respect that. Meghan gets criticized for almost everything she does. If she keeps the kids private, people complain. If she shared more, they'd probably complain even louder. At some point, you stop trying to impress people who already made up their minds. You focus on your family instead. That's the part that makes the most sense to me. Harry and Meghan aren't raising headlines. They're raising two little human beings. Archie and Lilibet don't need to win public approval. They need love, stability, and the freedom to be kids without millions of strangers watching every step. So when people ask why Harry and Meghan keep protecting their children, I honestly think the answer is the simplest one. Because they're parents. That's it. No conspiracy, no secret agenda, just a mum and a dad trying to give their kids something priceless, a childhood that belongs to them, not to the front page of tomorrow's newspaper. Here's where I land on all of this. At some point, you've got to stop living for everybody else's expectations and start living for your own peace. That's not just a Harry and Meghan story, that's real life. Look at what they've done since leaving royal life. Instead of waking up every morning wondering who's leaking what or what's going to be splashed across tomorrow's front page, they've built a life around the things that actually matter to them. Their kids, their charity work, their business ventures, their own goals. Nobody can say they haven't been busy creating something that's theirs. And isn't that what most of us are trying to do? Let's be honest, plenty of people watching this know exactly what it's like to step away from family drama. Sometimes it's the loud uncle who starts an argument at every barbecue. Sometimes it's that cousin who somehow knows your business before you do. Sometimes it's people who smile in your face, then roast you the second you leave the room. We've all got one. The difference is our family drama doesn't end up on breakfast television. People keep talking like Harry should just walk back into the same situation and pretend everything is cool, huh? Since when does pretending fix anything? If somebody keeps disrespecting you, you don't solve it by giving them unlimited access to your life. That's not wisdom, that's volunteering for another headache. And here's the part that cracks me up. Some commentators keep acting like Harry and Meghan are sitting around waiting for permission to be happy. Meanwhile, these two are out there working, raising their children, supporting causes they care about, signing deals, launching projects, and moving forward. Who's really stuck? Because from where I'm sitting, the people who can't let go seem far more obsessed than the couple they're criticizing. Life keeps moving. Harry and Meghan understood that. You can spend every day trying to convince people to like you, or you can spend that same energy building a life you're actually proud of. I know which option sounds better. There comes a point where protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to, you don't have to answer every critic, you don't have to keep running back to places that leave you stressed out just because someone says, but they're family. Family's important, no question about it. But healthy relationships are important too. If a relationship constantly leaves you drained, anxious, or looking over your shoulder, taking a step back isn't weakness. Sometimes it's the smartest decision you can make. That's why I think Harry and Meghan stopped trying to win a game that never seemed to have a finish line. Instead, they made their own lane. Now they're investing in their children, they're supporting charitable causes, they're creating projects that reflect what they care about, they're writing the next chapter instead of rereading the last one over and over again. And honestly, that's something regular people can understand. Not everybody gets to choose the family they're born into, but every single one of us gets to choose the kind of life we want to build. Harry and Meghan made that choice. They chose peace over chaos. They chose growth over endless drama. They chose to protect their home instead of constantly fighting battles that never seem to end. And that is one thing that is hard to ignore. They're no longer letting someone else hold the pen. They're writing their own story now, and they're doing it on their own terms. Thanks a million for watching, everybody. I'm your host, Miles. If you enjoyed today's video, smash that like button like it owes you money, subscribe if you haven't already, and join the squad. Drop your thoughts in the comments, I want to hear them all. And if you really enjoyed today's conversation, hit that super thanks and help keep the channel growing. Until next time, stay awesome, stay laughing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.